The number one supplement for joint stiffness, for muscle stiffness, if you look around, like did a Google search, they'd say glucosamine or I don't know, all kinds of stuff, or they just tell you to take ibuprofen. Reality is there's a lot of different things going on when it comes to stiffness. Like you can be young and able-bodied and still have stiffness, right? Generally speaking, when you look at stiffness, it can range from a wide variety of things, whether it's specific joint stiffness or it's actually muscle stiffness, right? But both things tend to sort of coincide with one common denominator, and that is going to be inflammation, right? Now, inflammation is not just the same like acute inflammation, like if you got stung by a bee and it got kind of swollen. We're talking about what's happening inside, somewhat even chronically or systemically. And again, even if you're young and healthy, it's the same reason why if you were to do a bunch of like straight leg deadlifts and destroy your hamstrings, you might get sore, but you might also just get stiff. Or if you've been sitting on a plane for 6 hours, and you get up and you're like, oh, I feel like my joints are creaking, right? It's that lack of blood flow, that lack of ability to clear lymphatic drainage and all this stuff, like that lymphatic system that requires us to move. So you have a compilation of inflammatory responses. But then there's also things that are related with even arthritis, which we'll talk about in just a second. Now, after today's video, I'll pop the link down below for Thrive Market. That's a 30% off discount link to get whatever you want through Thrive Market, including fresh groceries. So they have literally like fresh meat that they now ship to your doorstep. They have produce, they have cottage cheese, they have yogurt, plus they have all the pantry staples that they've always had. So make sure you check them out and use that link down below because it gets you 30% off your entire grocery order and a free $50 gift. Plus, I also have my new product there, which is going to be like almost like a Nutella. It's a chocolate hazelnut but keto-friendly nut butter, also a cinnamon Brazil nut and a macadamia nut dessert butter that are all sugar-free. So that link is down below. You can try those out and get 30% off your entire order. So let's first look at arthritis, because whether or not you are someone that is like officially dealing with arthritis, we can all kind of relate to sort of the stiffness that might come with it. Now, whether or not it's sort of a chronic thing is a different situation. So there's a study that was published in the International Journal of Orthopedics. Now, it was a meta-analysis of randomized controlled trials. So it was an analysis looking at a bunch of different RCTs. And what they found is looking at something called a WOMAC score, which is a huge, very kind of gold standard score for people dealing with arthritis. They found that one of the things that reduced the WOMAC score, but specifically the subscore of the WOMAC score associated with stiffness, was collagen supplementation. This is wild because for a long time we thought that collagen was just a protein and that you could get the same effect by consuming enough protein. But this study found that those specifically taking collagen had significantly reduced symptoms of stiffness independent of pain, which is kind of wild because if you further look at the data, there was a study that was published in Nutrients that actually found similar stuff with bone mineral density. Now, bone mineral density obviously could play a role when it comes down to like degenerative spine issues, like when you're actually like just breaking things down so much, because a lot of the same stuff we see with bone mineral density and the markers there, we would also see in collagen or cartilage tissue, soft tissue. So check this out. This study gave 131 people either 5 grams of collagen or a placebo, and they found that the people that had the collagen had significant improvement in bone density and bone formation in their spine and their necks. Not to mention, they saw increases in markers associated with bone formation, P1NP. That is a marker that we see in people that are actually forming bone and are building properly. The group that did not have collagen had markers of what is called CTX floating around. This is a sign, a marker of bone degradation. Exactly what you don't want, right? You hear those people be like, yep, I'm bone on bone and now my bones are wearing down. I have to get a hip replacement. So the cartilage and the bone breaking down, not to mention osteoporosis, these are all very, very big things. When you couple that with the stiffness score improving with collagen, we know something is happening. Now, how much should you take? Like, what should we really do here? So there's a study published in Medical Research and Opinion that had subjects consume a collagen supplement, found that it absorbed through the intestine, wouldn't just go into the simple amino acid pool, they would go to the cartilage and start to kind of help there. Because we have to remember that collagen is just 3 simple amino acids, proline, glycine, and hydroxyproline. but it's how they are combined and the amounts that they are in that dictate where they go and what the body does with them. And that same study published in Nutrients that looked at the bone mineral density, well, that found that the peptides that were in collagen actually signaled for collagen to form more so naturally. Essentially, they became a signaling molecule that told the body to put more collagen in that place. So sometimes if you're having an issue with stiffness or degenerative discs and things like that, and bone on bone and cartilage, taking a collagen supplement doesn't just necessarily make it so that those aminos go there. That does happen. But more importantly, it becomes a signaling molecule to tell your body to build collagen, because your body can create collagen on its own. It can synthesize it from aminos and using vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, and magnesium, and kind of these other cofactors that ultimately, especially vitamin C as an early cofactor, to form collagen, especially type 1 alpha 1, like the gene that kind of triggers us to form collagen type 1. This is critical. So even a little bit of collagen consumption in supplement form or in like gristle from ground beef or something can be tremendously powerful for signaling to your body to rebuild and repair. And when we look at that WOMAC score again, it reduces the stiffness. So the recommended amount, I would say at minimum 5 grams, preferably 10 grams daily. Is there a specific time to take it? The best potential time, based on some early research that we've seen, is actually taking it intra-workout or pre-workout. You might actually absorb it better into the connective tissue that you are utilizing at that time. There was an interesting study, I can't remember where it was published, but they basically had subjects jump rope. And when they would have them take collagen before jump roping, they noticed that there was more collagen uptake and cartilage formation in their Achilles tendons that are obviously being stressed through jumping and that plyometric movement. So does it break a fast? Is it going to ruin things? I don't think that's something you should worry about too much unless you're strictly fasting. Otherwise, the benefits outweigh the risks there. And I think you can get a pretty serious effect based on the research that we've seen. So as always, keep it locked in here on my channel. I'll see you tomorrow.